On September the 11th, I was at school and I heard about it when I first got home, and my aunt had dropped me home and we went and we put the TV on, and we were found it quite difficult to understand what was going on and who had done this or why it happened. In the time immediately after the event, I went to a Muslim school, and we'd had threats, so the police advised us to close the school for 3 days to protect the students and to protect them from when they were walking to the school or away from the school. 9/11 has affected me in the way in which I conduct myself in London, the way in which I walk around, the way I look at people and the way I think they're looking at me. I'm constantly on the defensive in some ways. Even 10 years after the event, I always feel like I have to prove that I'm normal, or I'm not a terrorist, which is quite a strange way to exist in somewhere you consider your home. On the flip side, it's also kind of forced me to be quite active in my community or in London, take an active role in the way in which Muslims are understood and framed and interact with the state. I guess the thing that I've learned most from this experience is how to not limit people to single identities and allow for multiple identities within their being, and not kind of limit them to just being a Muslim or understanding them as terrorists or as from a community that's done this awful thing, but actually allowing people to have the multiplicity of who they are exist, and not judging people by what I see on the news. It's difficult for me to imagine my life without this shadow of 9/11 behind us. I don't know how I can even perceive what my life would be like without it, because since a very young age it's always been there, and it's shaped the way in which I understand myself and the world understands me.